actually have Ogdoadic for you today. Invoked decides to step up to the plate. Some Kashtira, Horus, and some more interesting meta. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. We're starting off here with Ogdoadic of all things. Basically, this is playing a dinosaur reptile package in here because, I mean, you do have reverse synergy with, you know, most of this being reptiles. So you can kind of cheese out some interesting little combo lines with this. I do see we are playing the one Night Sword Serpent. Oh boy, that's some free value off of the Snake's Ring. I like the amount of the moving pieces that this deck has to offer, at least in terms of the combo lines that maybe people might not necessarily consider. Also, you know, Evo Singularity just being something you can kind of just blast on out of left field here and be able to kind of combo up with. And yes, you get to see Zeral here actually doing something. This is actually fairly cool. I like when we can see moving pieces like this actually come together and make a top finish, especially out of an OTS championship. So good stuff for the success of this. Next up here, we have Kashtira. Now, I've been following a lot of Kashtira personally because this is the deck that kind of catches my interest at the moment because of how it's been scraped down and how it's still kind of competing with a lot of the meta. Now, obviously, their utility packages, I think, are the thing that tends to make this deck actually kind of unique. Now, obviously, you do have things like Change of Heart, the Monster Reborn. I see we're playing a lot of interesting little things that you can actually thrust on into here and just laugh at your opponent with. But nonetheless, the options that this deck kind of is forced to explore at this point is kind of interesting. Also, I mean, since we have a lot more link summoning happening here in the meta, something like Phantasme being a side deck card, this has been kind of a little bit more common as lately. Like, this card does put some pretty good pressure on your opponent just to give you the chance to kind of close out the game and go, hey, you know, I'll take my free draw power. Next up here, we have finally some branded good stuff here. I see that we are playing Maximus. That's kind of interesting. I don't really see a lot of Maximus anymore, especially in these builds. 1 Quem, double Blazing Cartesia. 2 Ash feels a little bit weird to me, but I feel like this is because we're opting for 2 crossouts at this point. Maybe they just don't want to deal with too much of the bulk end of things here, but that's cool. Triple Super Poly is extremely normal. Our Nadir Servant, its purpose is to get to this and to get to Maximus, depending on whichever of the little sub-combo lines that you want to go down. But this is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe still would like to play double branded in red, but it just isn't what it used to be anymore, which is hilarious. Next up here, we have Vanquish Soul. Hey, 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 it's the Rise Heart Free Fire reveal. Yeah, that never really changes. One of Bystials is also kind of interesting. The fact that, I guess, additional darks if you really need them. And at least, you know, this toggles on into the Druis Worm, so you can have it for the matchups. The one Kurikara is also kind of cool. I mean, once again, you want to try to cover as many of your bases as you actually can. Having, you know, maybe Kurikara doesn't come out of matchup. Well, still a fire monster that you can reveal to start doing, you know, the bigger side of things for the deck. So that's pretty good. I see that we are also siding the Dust Devil. This has been pretty common as of late. As much as I want to see Dust Devil not really be sided and more towards the main, it's just there are better cards at this point to dedicate towards, especially something like the Triple Tactics Talents, for example. You know, your deck is fine. Deck is so good still. Next up here, did we had to have hopped in a time machine, right? Like, this has to be a time machine if we're looking at Alistair, the Invoker of all things out here. To be honest with you, I'm happy to see that Alistair and friends is back at it and doing their thing. All right, especially we have some of the Bystial stuff in here to kind of assist you. And of course, I mean, we have some Brand Fusion stuff in here as well. Basically, we are playing the strong backing of the Fallen of Albaz engine, and we're merging it with Bystial stuff to ensure that the wheels on the bus can keep turning, and you know, you're not going to get punished for doing fusion plays, all right, especially when this is all just free. All right, so Interesting take for the engines splashing together. I haven't seen a lot of people playing Alistair with this stuff, but I think it does help out a lot of the good stuff. Free invocation, yum. Next up here, we have Horus Adventure with no... This is actually kind of cool. We're not playing the Phantom Knight cards. This is what I would consider more of probably your basic go-to build. You maximize on one of these, you slam down into the good stuff, you make the giant trainer draw some cards, then you can do your rifle package. This is just, you're just playing good cards, effectively, at this point in time. You kind of steamroll out some advantage, and then you use TC Booze while using the Horus monsters to stick around on the field and do their thing. Yeah, trust me, if all four of these are on the field, typically, things get stupid. I mean, they're not playing Kempo Protector, which is an extremely stupid good card, but this is just a utility go second, smash through your opponent's board, or go first, make big board, get some free draw power. It's really good. Next up here, we have the Sisters of the Exo. And I do see that we are playing triple crossout Designated. Does this, well, to be fair, this deck does hate certain hand traps. Giant Space Rock is the death of this deck, so they're not even playing an out for the Space Rock act. Oh no, there is the one. They are playing. See, that's how you know Exo Sister players are scared of the Giant Space Rock, because they opted for the for the crossout designator in the main deck. Man, this duelist has been rocked so many times that they've had to adapt towards this. Okay, standard dimension shifters, spirit package feels right. We are siding lances. This at least makes sure that you don't lose your power exceeds, so you can do your thing. Droplets for the board breaking. One Book of Eclipse. I see that they've also, can't wait for them to lose another random Book of Moon instead of the Book of Eclipse. But interesting to see how this deck is handling some of the more random things. Next up here, oh boy, it's purely, I will say that we've had a lot of purely decks out of this OTS championship weekend. Like, I'm honestly impressed. But this is the first one that I've seen actually doing the Cobalt Eagle with the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation to, get to the field spell shenanigans. Obviously, Stray Purely Street is a good card. Also, the free Cobalt Eagle is a free discard. Like, that's probably the thing I care most about here. Or, oh boy, it's fodder to make, one of these, not you, one of these two good cards somewhere along the way. Overall, this build, it's got its little tech choices, which is this, playing 41 cards. I think the build plays out pretty well, especially down here. High enemy controller. I see that we're not letting our opponent have any fun today. Next up here, Centurion. We've featured a lot of Centurion. Like, honestly, I've enjoyed seeing how this deck has, had its shining moments. That's actually kind of cool. We are playing a Chaos Archfiend down here. Okay. No Chaos Angel. Surprising. Well, we're not playing the Horus package in here, so we're a little bit more limited in the things that we can do. I mean, it's just going to be us toggling through Emmet Primera about 95% of the time. So we can set up, we're actually playing Desires, more talent. So this build, instead of, wanting to dedicate more money towards the Horus package, you just kind of supplement it out with things like more hand traps, aka these. You supplement things with the Fenrirs, and then you kind of splice things in with the talents, and kind of go from there. And it looks like it worked out relatively well, all real things considered, considering, I mean, this is the build that ended up doing the best here. And our last list we have here is Infernoble. Hey, let me tell you about DDR right now. You can do some extremely stupid stuff with DDR, especially with this card. Loop back around, grab something else out of your opponent's hand. Yeah, this is extremely broken with the little DDR interactions. So don't doubt this card as a tech choice in Infernoble. Like, it is actually extremely good. 44 cards is fine. The Angel's Ring being mained is actually kind of nice. I see we do play the one-dimensional barrier for the one-turn blowout if need be through our dear friends over at the Thrust Arena. We don't play Thrust. Hello, thrust? Nope, no thrust in here. Never mind, this is just a one of. Okay. Well, that's all we have for today. So what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.